a lot of times we think we're going to miss something so bad if we let it go. We're thinking, I need this just in case, or it's good to hold on to, or it's good to have, or so-and-so gave it to me, or it was a gift, or, I'll just deal with it later. And what happens is once we get to the point where we actually let that item go, or we start letting those things go, we realize, I didn't need it anyways, or I don't even miss that item. It really wasn't as profound as I thought. It wasn't doing anything, but wow, I really like the space. Wow, I really like this feeling. I really like this liberation that I'm getting, because it's the act of letting go of past attachments, which is so powerful. It's that physical act that you're engaging in that says, you know what, this stuff no longer has power over me. I don't need it. It's not going to be part of my future, and I'm going to let it go. That's really the goal, is to, instead of that stuff having control over you, you're the one in control. So a lot of people hold on to things that were given to them by their loved ones, such as my husband's cowboy boots that you guys all voted so generously on for him to keep. And chances are he probably will. We've had him, he's had them longer than I've known him. And they're not being used, and they just get shifted from one place to the next. So in my eyes, I think, well, what if we bless somebody with that? What if there was somebody who really loved that style, and man, they wore it and were so proud of it, and maybe they couldn't even afford that type of material, and it really blessed them and made a difference in their life. That's what I'm looking for. Not just, hey, let's just shove it off to Goodwill, where there's no purpose. But emotional attachments to things can be so strong that the person almost thinks that that's the person themselves, like that's his mother, when in reality it's not. It's just something that was gifted that you don't use, and that's the reality. And so if things start robbing your future because it's part of the past, it ends up in the present, which ends up in part of your future, and that it's the mentality of needing to hold on to something just because of that reason. And there is no future in the past. Right now you're in the present. The past and the future are both in your imagination. So you have to think of, who do I want to be? This person who I was, which no longer exists anymore, or this person in the future, which doesn't exist yet, but I have the authority and the control to bring that person from the future into the present right now. By the choices I make right now, I can make it happen speedily, or I can make it take a really long time. The choices are in the decisions right now. How long is that going to take for you to be that person? Well, if you're somebody who's really desiring freedom and liberation, and not wanting to be the person of your past, not wanting to be reminded of that, then the first step would be is to get control. Who do you want to be? And the act of purging is so profound, because it's the act of letting go. It's the act of letting go of things that used to have control over us. It's that process in itself is so liberating and so freeing. That's why I tell all of my clients, I tell everybody, start with getting rid of. It'll immediately put you in a place of control and dominance. It'll immediately put you as the head and not the tail, because you're saying, I'm in control of this. I'm going to create my life and my space how I want it to be, and this stuff is not going to have power over me. So that is always the first step, is start to let things go. And sometimes it takes multiple times to go through things. You might go through it one time, let some things go, then you go through it a second time, and then you realize you're left with 5% of what you had in that closet or in that room, and you're like, wow, this is the stuff I actually really like. None of the other stuff even meant anything to me. And once you let it go, you realize, I really didn't need that or care about that anyways. It wasn't as important as I thought it was to begin with.